Assalamu alaikum. Habari zenu kwa wale wa Kristo. Bwana sifiwe. Naam.
A rainy morning in Kuala District, a group of women is meeting to discuss what has become a worrying trend, especially in the coastal region. They and others like them have been trapped in debt and tricked into working in Saudi Arabia, only to come back with tales of exploitation, violent abuse and virtual slavery.
Saa 6 ukisema unaenda kulala, mwingine naye anaamka saa 7 kasoro. Unaona hakuna wakati wa kulala. Alafu anakuambia, ukimwambia nimechoka nataka kulala kupata usingizi, anakuambia umetoka kwenu, umeacha watu wako, umekuja kufanya kazi. Wewe ni maskini. Na Kenya ni maskini.
These are some of the Kenyan victims of a human trafficking epidemic that has consigned up to 27 million people worldwide to forced labor and bondage. It is the fastest growing criminal industry in the world, and it is predicted to eventually outgrow drug trafficking. This meeting has been organized by Muhuri, a Muslim human rights organization seeking to stem the tide of Kenyan victims. It is one in a series of meetings to sensitize a community that has seen one too many of its girls fall prey to recruitment agents looking to cash in on the trade in debt slaves. One by one, each of the women tell of the horrors they had to endure before they fled or bought their freedom.
Kwa kweli kule nilikuwa tunatamani sasa nirudi nyumbani, maana nilikuwa kule pesa yenye napata kwanza haitoshi. Kwanza nikipigiwa simu nyumbani nikiambiwa kuna shida na shindwa sana nitajigawanya vipi.
These forums attracting even those with relatives still in Saudi Arabia, worried for their kin. But among them are those who, despite what they have heard, are willing to take the risk themselves. The women who have tales of exploitation to tell record statements with Muhuri officials, despite evidence of false promises, physical abuse and other illegal activities. There is little government action on the matter. Instead, officials who approve the movement of economic migrants to foreign countries blame the victims, ignoring evidence that many are deliberately lied to before being forced to work as domestic workers.
It is the nature of the kind of jobs they are looking for. When you go in there like a maid who comes to your house and you say you have to deposit your ID here, you may run away anytime with my things, so put your ID here. It is something which has no basis in law, but somehow it ties that person you have taken their papers to your home state. It's like slavery, really, like prison.
The agents involved in the human trafficking racket have an easy time securing passports and visas for their victims, most of them securing their passports in a day. This suggests state officials are colluding with them and ignoring their crimes. If records at the Ministry of Labour are anything to go by, there are only 19 registered recruitment agencies in the country. The hundreds of other agents and brokers pretending to offer decent, well-paying jobs are operating illegally, yet they continue to do business freely. Efforts to reach the Ministry of Labour for comment were fruitless.
The Ministry of Labour has completely failed. The Commissioner of Labour and his team require to explain to the Kenyan public actually what they have been doing and more so how they have allowed thousands of Kenyans to be duped.
The Parliamentary Select Committee on Defence and Foreign Affairs is expected to release a report of its findings after investigations on the matter.
There are individuals either at the Ministry of Labour, individuals at the Ministry of Immigration, individuals at the Ministry of Security who have selected their job.
Yet the biggest complaints that arise are those accusing the Kenyan embassy in Saudi Arabia of doing very little, if nothing, to rescue those stranded in the Arab country.
Ambassador wa Kenya ambaye ni Msomali anasema yeye hataki watu wakae hapa, kuna nyumba. Serikali ya Kenya haijaweka bajeti ya nyumba na chakula katika embassy. Sasa hiyo tunafaa tujue hivyo.
This coming from the lips of an ambassador, someone who's supposed to represent you, someone whom when you see you're supposed to feel your issues are going to be dealt with.
Embassy officials claim that they are not given enough funds for such functions.
So once they come there, after staying for 1 month or 2 months or 2 weeks, they want to go away. They want to go away. But you have just arrived now from Kenya looking for a job. You have been here only for one month. Why do you want to go away?
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Moses Wetangula, claiming that he has not received any formal complaint touching on Mohamed Swaleh, the Kenyan ambassador to Saudi Arabia.
Due process requires that when there's an allegation like what you have said, we ask the ambassador and his team to answer. Then we look at the issues and draw a reasonable conclusion and make sure that if it is a wrong done, it is not repeated.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs claiming that talks are ongoing with the Saudi government to enforce protection for its people working in the country.
Bottom line is not whether Kenyans are having problems out there or not. Problems will always be there, whether it's in America, in Canada.
The government, as always, is afraid of rubbing the Saudi government the wrong way. Every time you approach a government officer, they tell you, you know, we have to deal with this issue diplomatically. This Saudi government is helping us, you know, they are contributing to road construction and what and all that.
With the scarcity of jobs remaining a reality in Kenya, many more intend to travel to Saudi Arabia, believing their story may have a different ending.
If it's not addressed, one, people will continue to suffer. We've seen many who've come back in coffins, and so we should prepare ourselves to see more of that.
Esther Kahumbi, KTN, Modern Day Slavery.